because this is a comfort to so many parents. There was one building that stood out among all the rest. And I asked what building that was, and I was stunned when they said, that is the nursery. And then this magnificent figure turned toward me. Gradually, the shimmer that had covered his features vanished. I found myself face to face with none other.
Jim Woodford was a successful businessman and pilot whose life was focused on the pursuit of wealth. And he ended up getting the Guillain-Barré syndrome, and he died from an overdose of an experimental therapeutic drug that he was taking for the pain, having secretly exceeded the prescribed dosage. On April 21st, 2014, while sitting in his truck, he experienced intense heat. His lungs began to seize. He collapsed, hitting his head violently on the steering wheel. He was in a state of death with complete renal failure of all organs and no sign of brain activity for 11 hours. You've got to watch this testimony with me. He covers seeing horses in heaven, seeing babies, and then encountering Christ and being sent back. As someone myself who 4 years ago was in a traumatic brain accident where I actually left the earth for 18 days in a coma where the hospital actually asked for my last will, I'll be sharing some details with you here later on this video concerning what is on the other realm.
The guardians were wonderful. I felt safe. And then they're very elegant. I do have to tell you this because I think people would be very interested in this. I was taken by how they bowed to me. They bowed to me. And I felt rather uncomfortable because I should be bowing to them. And I questioned why, because it was such a bow of respect and subservience, and bowed very low. And they spoke with kind of this Victorian perfection in their voice. I didn't hear any thou or thee, but a very measured tone that incredibly, and with every word they spoke, there was wisdom. Anyway, I questioned the guardian that I eventually found out was mine all my life. Now that guy that angel had pulled an awful tour of duty, but I digress. But I asked why, and they said, James, do you not know that when we look at mankind, we see the spark of life of our master? Isn't that something? We who consider ourselves the lowest of the low are looked at by the angels in awe of us. Anyway, so we walk, and I'll skip forward, but they showed me many things, told me many things. I developed 360-degree omnivision, I call it. I heard everything. I understood everything. The